Greetings and salutations and welcome back. So now that my wishlist project is done, I'm going to go on to other projects. But before I move away from Purion for a little bit, I'm going to get this one story done called The Story of 8584. Now for those who know me, or the sites I visit, Charles Macro, Mr. Spicy Gaming, Wandering Timmy Gaming, or Spange, I will sometimes in the comment section leave a story. Now it could be for fun, or it could sync up with a video. It's just something I like to do. I've done the same thing here for the THC. The story is of an employee for an industry called Fort Holder, and he kind of goes off the rails on a project. One of the reasons I like to do this project is because I'm trying to put my builds in the workshop, but I'm having difficulty. After looking around, I found one possibility, that being I might have to reinstall the game. Now if I do that, there's a good chance I could lose my builds. So other than I like telling stories, I really need a visual representation of all the builds I spent all that time working on. So these videos are not going to last longer than 15 minutes. And unlike the reason I gave, I'm having problems with anything over 15 minutes. The reason for this is that in the comment section, I'm going to expand onto the story. So think of it as a chapter in the book. The THC is chapter 1. My next build for 8584 will be chapter 2, and so on. So let's continue with this first part. There'll probably be maybe 2 or 3 videos for chapter 1. And I can't do any voiceovers. I can't do any acting. Well, no, I can do voiceovers. I'm doing it right now, actually. I can't do any acting. I can't do any voices. But in this case, that's okay, because I'm looking at it as the perspective of someone who either bought the THC, or an employee or a military official. And in the comment section, I can add more emotions into the story. So let's begin. And for those on the lower setting, I will read this to you. Alright, so thank you for your purchase of the THC-1 Hover Battleship, our first attempt at making a more suitable military vessel for surface operations. Throughout the vessel, we have placed number-marked LCD screens that will explain each section of the vessel. Afterwards, you may remove them as they have no other purpose. However, please remember, it is your responsibility to orientate the future crew. We are currently building a proper training facility as well as a proper capital vessel for off-road operations. Please check with a Fort Holder post near you for more new information. You may now remove the screen and begin your training. Fort Holder, hold your world. Warning, hacking detected. To our valued customer, we have detected a hacking event when the blueprints were being downloaded to you, possibly from a rival corporation, though it's difficult to say for sure. Now this will not affect the functions of the THC-1, but for some reason you have also been given the records of the original concept for the THC-1. We tried deleting this information, but were unable. The mechanism of why or how is currently unknown, and we ask you to delete the screens as it is company property, but also ask you to please do not judge the actions of 1, or 2, or 3, as the whole of this corporation. We have designated the LED screens in green. Welcome to the THC-1. This stands for Turtle Heritage Class. Turtle, as it is soft on the inside and hard on the outside. And Heritage as it is inspired by the navies of old. More particularly the ironclads, but later on that. We at Fort Holder Industries pride ourselves on learning from the days of old. It is a requirement to becoming a CEO or partner, for inspiration of doing better or gratefulness of what no longer needs to be done, to warnings of downfalls or paths not to take. For example, this vessel is near mirrored from bow to stern. This was inspired by ships of the line from World War I to the beginnings of the Second World War, before radar improvements, when navies painted something akin to camouflage on ship hulls. This was to confuse enemy forces to the vessel's direction, a tactic still useful apparently, or at least when viewed by foot soldiers. Please continue to the bow helm. You may now remove the screen. Record 31-09-46. 1:15 p.m. ET, Earth time. CEO redacted. Code 3112. And right this way, ladies and gentlemen, we have completed your request HV for explosion. Oh my god! Employee 8584. I'm sorry. I just couldn't stop. I just kept building and building. See, 3112. 8584, what have you done? CEO redacted. Code 2127. Didn't we have an entire facility here? Where did that go? 8584. I had to get the extra material from somewhere. This is the vessel's bow front. There is one primary control seat and 5 gunner stations, though you may switch the positions if you wish. Each station is assigned the following: 1 pilot seat, 1 fridge for personal food storage, and 1 storage locker for personal belongings and equipment, 1 armor locker for mission-critical armor and boost, and 1 ammo storage with the exception of the helm. The stern is the same. The areas are near surrounded with armored glass for protection, yet good visual of your surroundings. There will also be enough natural light, pending if the world you are on has a sun, to cut down on light power consumption. Please continue to the bow starboard. You may now remove the screen. Let's see. So, oops. There they are. Record 310946. 1:23 p.m. ET, your time. 3112. 8584. Why is this vessel the same on either side? 8584. Well, near the same. There are differences. CEO 3112. I've known you for 7 years. Near isn't you. 8584. Well, I may have been sort of, confused to the front and 3112. You got lost on your own ship? How? This isn't a maze. It's straightforward. How did you manage that? CEO 2127. Speaking of which, really man, we were gone for like 45 minutes. How did you manage to decimate an entire construction building in 45 minutes? The angular design is to 1. Give a better visual of objects or troops close to you, and 2. Allow for better airflow. It was inspired by the ironclad CSS Virginia, an ironclad vessel during the American Civil War, while the artillery was inspired by the USS Monitor. A brief statement on the subject will be mentioned later near the end. Please continue midship. You may now move the screen. Why won't you? There you go. Like the setup for the bow and stern, the midsection is defended by a row of 2 flanking minigun turrets and 1 central plasma. The height and hover of the vessel gives a better advantage of spotting and targeting any hostile forces you may come across. To give the best possible defense for our vessel's heart, we place all our cores near center as possible. Nothing new or different compared to others, but it is protected further by armored glass on top and below, and is surrounded by not only turrets, but operational switches. Vessel lights turn on green starboard, and red port lights activate weapons, turn on warning flares when the turrets are active. Internal lights turn on the basic lighting for the lower decks. Tap lights turn on the red internal lightings for nighttime operations and rest. Turning off all is for daytime or stealth missions at night. Each is manual operated. This is on purpose so you may configure it to your needs. As mentioned, the bow and stern are near identical. This is due to the lower decks and the purpose of each section not needing the same space or more. But if, for whatever reason, one section is damaged in battle, there is a good chance the THC-1 will still operate as both sides have the same function, or the vessel may reverse without too much hassle if a situation becomes overwhelming. To the stern ramp. Okay. The ramps are for easier loading of munitions and supplies. Record 310946. For 1:45 p.m. ET, CEO 3112. Why are there slant ramps? Employee 8584. Because for some reason hover vehicles don't have elevator No, why are there not stairs? Employee 8584. I have a personal vendetta against them. CEO 3112. You have a vendetta. You do realize that you are the reason everyone must have mandatory therapy sessions, right? And that personal vendetta is one of the reasons as to why. CEO 2127. You have a blood oath against stairs? What did they ever do to you? 8584. They killed my friend! CEO 2127. Who? Slinky? Alright. There are 2 medical posts on either side, identical. This way, any crew member is never too far from aid. There is a clone chamber, medical station, and crate for supplies labeled as such. Please continue to the recompression chamber. You may now remove the screen. Record 310946, 1:35 p.m. ET Earth Time, CEO 3112. Why are there 2 medical posts? Employee 8584. I can hear a lot. Modern medical is great. Otherwise, I would still have 9 broken bones, burned skin, disemboweled liver. CEO 2127. We were only gone for 45 minutes. Employee 8584. And a lot can happen in that time. The THC-1 has a diving area. This is for underwater missions, recovery, ship-to-shore assaults missions, and that sort. If your dive team feels any form of DCS, decompression sickness / bends, then this chamber will come in handy. Record 310946, 1:55 p.m. ET Earth Time, CEO 3112. This is exactly what our customers wanted, or a piece of it at least. Employee 8584. You didn't mention that in your memo. You wanted, and I do quote, I have a vessel for long voyages, able to survive in the harshest of conditions, without support of a CV or SV. You didn't have a physical meeting with me like all CEOs are supposed to, before build begins, and left me to my own will. You issued a commission without restraint or direction and got something that can survive in the harshest of conditions. CEO 3112. I also said for exploration. I wanted a Safari HV, not the Bismarck. Employee 8584. Then you should have placed that restriction or actually showed up before I began. CEO 2127. But did it have to be made from the facility? Employee 8584. Yes, it did. And not the whole facility. You still have those unreasonably large doors and one wall. The diving chamber is for mostly underwater recovery with the benefit of protection from the vessel's weapons, provided the threats are above the waterline. The area is lined with downward-facing spotlights for light penetration. There are 6 refill stations assigned for a dive team of 6, though not exclusive if topside crew need refilling in emergencies. Please continue the battle. There is a bow and stern life support system for airflow. Both process and pump air towards and one another, creating a constant flow of fresh air to breathe. If one malfunctions or is damaged, then the other has a better chance at surviving, and thus so too the crew. There is also a bow and stern fixed weapons placement from resource collection. That's supposed to be collection. The Gatling guns are meant to protect whichever way is facing away from conflict, while the opposite end is meant to clear out enemy or tear down any entryway if assaulting a base. The laser drills and harvester are meant for clearing out obstructions like trees or rocks. During testing, one of our teams used it to drill a hole through a mountain, smooth it out, and make it into a sort of train tunnel. The side turrets are the same purpose, but one is a drill for mining and the other is to remove manufactured debris, like downed vessels, and collect the materials for later personal use to ensure the survival of the THC-1. Record 310946, 2:07 p.m. ET Earth Time, CEO 2127. Okay, so what's with the fixed tools and weapons? At this point, they seem pretty useless next to a drill and multi-turret. Employee 584. They are, but I was told to build something that could survive. Having them, I feel, gives a little extra kick. You could clear out the thickest of forest or flatten the most mountainous of areas. CEO 2127. Oh, alright, I mean, I don't know what you're really basing that off of, as there was no way to test that, because we were only gone for 45 minutes. Employee 8584. I even added the 4 max hover thrusters, because at that point I thought, why not? And the dog's making noise. Alright, so that's the end of episode 1. I'll add it onto the story in the comments section, and then make chapter 2. Until then, good day or night to wherever you may be. I am signing out.